It's now time for the Pony Cake Sports Podcast with your hosts, Josh Stevens, Tim Thompson, and Tom Schultz. Woo!
Gentlemen, welcome to the final build-up show of this season. Who knows, maybe we'll get together and do one on Saturday morning before the draft, but the balls deep in fantasy land, politically correct fantasy land, whatever you want to call it, it is here. Our Keepers League, season number 9, Tom, is that correct?
I believe this is 8.
Season number 8, nevertheless, it's a lot of years. It's a long time we've been playing football together. Had some people come and go, some people stay who I wish would go. But, Tom, you are here, my friend. I just heard from you. Josh, are you there?
Yeah, I am here.
I'm glad
Thank God.
you stepped away from the rap music for a second. Everyone was able to get their keepers in. I was pretty shocked, kind of happy about that. Oh, I wanted to keep this guy and not that guy, blah, 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 BS. So the keepers are set. Just a reminder to everyone that the draft is on Saturday. That's this Saturday at noon. Tom has just informed me that his weatherman wife, weatherwoman, if you would, has informed him that it's supposed to rain. So if you're planning on doing stuff outside, either bring an umbrella or don't get wet. Don't really care. But there's a bunch of college football on Saturday, and it should be a fantastic time. Josh, what's the earliest you want any of these assholes at your house?
You guys can show up anytime you want. You want to be there at 8 o'clock, Mike? I prefer you not to be there at 8 because last time you got hammered that early. So everybody else besides Mike, you can be there early.
Well, my favorite part about this is, today, Josh, I don't know if you know, I got to your house, came downstairs, cleaned up the Pony Cake Sports studio, I vacuumed up, took out the garbage, cleaned the place up a little bit, and I'm upstairs, I'm talking to your wife-to-be, and I told her, hey, you pumped for Saturday? You pumped to have another draft at your house? And she looks at me, she goes, the draft's going to be here? And I'm like, yeah, Becca, the draft's here. She's like, oh, Josh told me that you guys were talking about it. And then I was like, oh, God. So I just started to play dumb. I'm like, yeah, we were kind of talking about it.
I totally meant to tell you guys not to tell her.
Oh, well, that's not good, because, I totally just told her.
I told her, too.
Oh, okay.
I also just, I confused the days because she kept telling me that she was doing a Tough Mudder on Saturday. So I said to myself, you know what? I'm not going to have to tell her because she's not going to be back until 8:30 anyways. So I was like, this is perfect. Turns out that was this past Saturday and not next Saturday. So I would have had to tell her regardless.
I like how we are just days away. We're 3 days away from the draft. And you know what, Josh? Honestly, that is why the draft is at your house. Because you can pull that and get away with it. There's no way in hell my wife would let me pull that over. There's no way in hell Leah would let Josh do that. No way, and I don't think even Araf would let a hidden, pop-up draft with our asshole friends show up at the house.
The champ's roommate, his mom wouldn't let him have a draft last second like that either.
Yeah, no.
It'd be tough. So, Josh, bravo to you.
Bravo.
Sorry we kind of ruined it. I guess we kind of broke the ice, so it won't be too bad.
Well, yeah, I mean, actually, it's his fault. He didn't give us a heads up. But nevertheless, it's still happening on Saturday, whether Becca is here or not. She'll probably be getting drunk with your wife, Tom, in all honesty. We'll probably hang out together, which makes a lot of sense. Let's get right into the keepers. We can do a little letter grade if you want, and then I do have a little bit of a mock draft that I think potentially could happen in the first round. Probably completely wrong, but that's okay. Let's start with the South. Team Momo keeps Devontae Parker, Corey Davis, and Derrick Henry.
F. Worst keepers that anyone has ever kept. It's not as bad as it used to be when we had to keep 5. The only good thing for him is he's got 3 first-round picks, but do not see Parker being startable. Corey Davis, he should be startable. He should be the number one there, but that's still unknown. Didn't show much last year. And Derrick Henry's in a running back by committee. I am not a fan of him. At best, a low-end RB2 for me, so it's going to be tough for Brett to have a quality running back core in my eyes.
Josh?
Yeah, his keepers are trash. About as good as nothing. You might as well just roll out with 3 people that are all kickers. So, garbage.
You know, I'm not going to hate on it as much as you guys. I'm low on Devontae Parker as well, but you never know.
He's not even cleared to catch a ball.
I know.
He should have kept like a defense or kicker over Parker.
Well, there was another person who we were saying he should keep.
You know what? A kicker is more valuable because he's actually going to be on the field kicking a fucking football through the uprights to score some points. This motherfucker, what is his job? To catch a ball. What can he not do? Catch a ball.
Yeah,
it's kind of important.
And when he gets out there, he'll be out there with Spencer Fingers. It should be known, Jerry McInerney, Spencer Camp will be there on Saturday. It's been confirmed. So just so you know, that will happen. Everyone as well, I didn't mention it earlier, make sure you talk to Mike. Tell him what you want. Make sure you're going to be a part of the food. It's like $10, $12, some shit like that after tip and everything. It's a great deal, super cheap. Bring your own beer. No one's buying your beer for you, Jerry. Let's move on to Jerry's team. You guys both gave Brett an F. I will give him a D-. I like Derrick Henry's upside. I do. I like Derrick Henry. I've been a Derrick Henry sucker for a long time. D- just because he's got the 3 picks. If he doesn't screw that up. Jerry McInerney, he keeps a quarterback. Deshaun Watson, wide receiver Adam Thielen, wide receiver Brandon Cooks. Tom just reported that Adam Thielen went out with a leg injury. I said that it's being amputated. Josh says that he should be fine. Regardless, typical Jerry situation. Jerry's response to the news, I don't care, I'm tanking anyway. I don't know how you can be tanking with no first-round pick the following year. He doesn't have a 4th next year, does he?
No.
Yeah.
Jerry doesn't understand the best way to tank. It is what it is. Not a huge fan of the positions that Jerry kept. I think you kind of need to keep at least one running back, especially with how our format is now, and with that he doesn't really have any early picks. The first time he picks is 5-8. It's kind of late in the draft. Most of the good running backs will be gone. His team's going to be extremely shitty this year in my eyes unless Watson just completely blows up. But just based on his keepers, I'm a fan of Watson, Thielen. Not too high on Cooks this year. I'll give him a solid C.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting for Jerry. He's gonna end up. I bet you he drafts Frank Gore. That's his first running back taken.
I hope it's AP at 5'8".
Well, very well could be. Very well could be. I'm gonna give this a C, a solid C. I don't like them, like you said, Tom. Don't like the positions, and I don't like the players, but they're way better than Brett's. Not even close to as bad as Brett's. And if he gets 1 or 2 surprise guys, he could accidentally be a 500 team. And his tanking to get the pick that he traded away a better spot will be a complete failure. Joshua, son.
I'm not going to hate on Jerry's keepers. I like Thielen. I think he'll be fine. Cooks, I think he'll be okay. Watson, I think he'll be outside the top 5 for quarterbacks. So I think that was kind of a wasted pick. But the way his team looked, it just made sense. So I'm not going to hate on it. But if I had to give a letter grade, C-.
Let's move on to Wags. And Wags' team is kind of shifted around a little bit. I want to start by talking about Wags' team name. Now, I appreciate Wags changing the team name. We asked people to do it, and he changed it to Drake's the Nickelback of rap. Now, I like it. He's kept Kenyon Drake. I like it, but why wouldn't it be Drake is the Nickelback of backs? Because he has the running back Kenyon Drake. What does the rapper Drake have to do with football? Nothing. Damn it, Wags. You were so close. So close to a creative name, and you ruined it. His keepers, running back Jordan Howard, running back Kenyon Drake, wide receiver Stephon Diggs. I'm going to start this because I have praised Wags all the time. I've praised him, and I feel like wherever he started, I don't like where he's ended up. This seems like a team to me that, like, this is a Tim team. This is a team that I would have taken in the past and been all fired up and been oh yeah, I'm going to dominate, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and it just failed. Now, obviously, the addition of Saquon Barkley that he's going to have at 4-1 is huge, so I'm going to give it a C+. I'm actually pretty down. The two running backs that he ended up with, I'm not high on at all.
C+?
C+.
Jeez.
The best part about his keepers is that he's going to get Saquon Barkley at 4-1.
That's definitely a big time plus for him. Josh, you can go.
Yeah, that was the whole, I think, reason behind keeping these guys. Jordan Howard will be a running back too, and Kenyon Drake. Honestly, Kenyon Drake could probably be a starter on some other teams' rosters. So having Kenyon Drake as your third running back, you could do a lot worse than having Kenyon Drake. Honestly, I'd probably rather have Alex Collins, but Kenyon Drake, you're taking upside right there. So I'm not going to blame him for that. It's Stephon Diggs. A lot of people are high on Diggs. I know Tom's, I think, the highest on Diggs out of us. And a lot of people are high on Diggs, especially over Thielen. So I'm not going to hate on his picks. You got to imagine he's going to have Saquon. Kenyon Drake is his third running back. It's not bad.
And for me, Howard, he's an RB1. He finishes 12th running back last year. In this format, I like him again this year. I think that offense is going to be better. He's going to have more opportunities to score. Stephon Diggs, like Josh said, I'm high on him. He was the guy I was targeting at 4-5. Was kind of pissed Mike just gave him away for a freaking bag of candy corn. And then Kenyon Drake, I would have kept Alex Collins. Collins is he's guaranteed more touches than Drake is. Yeah, the Dolphins just have Frank Gore, Kalen Ballage, but I think both of them are going to have a role. Alex Collins, I think he's going to get all the early down work, all the goal line work. He's shown that he can catch the football. Yeah, you got to be a little worried about Dixon and Buck Allen possibly, but I think Collins was the safer pick, and having him as your flex, I think you'd be in a good spot.
I couldn't agree more. So, breakdown here through this south side, if you would. They're kept one quarterback, 3 running backs, and 5 wide receivers. Based off of keepers alone, who wins the division?
Wags.
I will say Wags as well. Josh?
I'm going to go with Wags.
All right, sounds like somewhat reluctantly. Let's move on here to the East, and that is Kevin, Tom, and Mike. Kevin will start it off. Keeps LaShawn McCoy, Antonio Brown, and Rob Gronkowski. I just want to point out one more time, for weeks upon weeks upon weeks, I was telling Josh and Tom, I'm working on something. Rob Gronkowski will not be available in the draft, so stop thinking about it. And they called me liar. They called me other names. They made fun of me. And it turns out I did nothing but tell the truth since May. So both of you can suck a fat one.
Like the first time you've been honest with us in the last
whole
3 years.
The whole offseason, I have spit nothing but truth. The whole offseason. Said all my players were available. I will move anyone. You guys said no, you won't.
Yeah.
Every single keeper I had moved. Gronk won't be available. Yes, he will. Boom, kept. Only tight end kept.
Yeah, Kevin's team, it's better on paper, obviously. LaShawn McCoy, he's been an RB1 over the past few years, and he should be pretty much the go-to guy in Buffalo. Only thing is, I'm worried about that offensive line, worried about that quarterback position, worried about his age, his total usage the last 3 years, so I'm not super high on him. He's outside my top 15 right now. AB, clear-cut wide receiver 1 overall for me. Absolutely love him. Gronk, he's my tight end 2, I believe, but good quality keepers. By far the best keepers he's ever had. I give him a A-.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for me to judge this team because that's my team without Odell Beckham Jr. as a keeper. It's rough. I love Antonio Brown. Gronk is Gronk. Whatever. He's cool to have on your team because he's gonna just be a weirdo. But Antonio Brown's been my stud. So love the team. Love that Kevin made an effort to have some solid keepers going into the year. I give him a solid A- as well. Josh?
Yeah, this trio right here is probably, if you're looking at it according to how 2017 ended last year, this trio is probably the best trio out of everybody keepers-wise. Not according to what my rankings are currently right now, but according to 2017, how it finished.
Josh,
sorry,
wait. I have a question for you. This trio is one of the best trios, if not the best trios. What you just said, correct?
I said according to the 2017 stats.
Okay. Would you be saying the same thing if Kevin, say, traded LaShawn McCoy for Odell Beckham Jr.? Would you be saying it's still one of the best trios?
No, because Odell Beckham Jr. was down last year.
Okay.
I said according to the 2017
I know what you said.
stats, This is the best trio.
I know what you said. What grade do you give Kev?
I give Kevin a B+, just for the fact that he actually made some moves. I'm really happy, but I'm also looking at his draft picks. No 4th rounder, no 6th rounder. He does have a couple 9s, so not too bad. Just what's going to happen with shitty McCoy? That's the biggest question. To me personally, I wouldn't want a woman beater on my team, or an alleged woman beater. Just for the fact you don't know if he's going to be around all season.
Hey, he paid someone to beat her up. He didn't do it.
Right.
And did you call him Shitty McCoy or Shady?
You called him Shitty McCoy, didn't you?
What's that?
Did you call him Shitty McCoy?
Oh, yes, I did.
It's a good new nickname. I like it.
It is a good nickname for sure. Kevin has an opportunity for some good team name like Shitty McCoy Goes Brown or something like that. He's got to figure it out. Kevin, get creative.
One more thing on Kevin's team. I saw a bold prediction from some fucking idiot. I can't remember, but they said that Gronk will score over, I think it was 20 touchdowns this year. And I thought that was absolutely ridiculous.
Sleeper wire.
Honestly, you know now that I've spent the last 2.5 seasons with Gronk, Brown, and Beckham, that Brown and Beckham will blow up for like 15 touchdowns each, and Gronk will be healthy for 16 games and score 20 touchdowns. Watch it happen. I would not be surprised. Let's move on here to Mike's team. Mike, the only other person to keep a quarterback outside of Jerry, told Mike that before. Are you sure you want to be associated with Jerry? Mike says, I want to be happy. All right, pal. You get to keep Aaron Rodgers and be happy. You keep Alvin Kamara and wide receiver Jarvis Landry.
It's interesting the moving around Mike has done. He traded Keenan Allen, who's a top 5 wide receiver in my eyes, in redraft and dynasty. He's still young enough to go-to guy. Traded him for his boy Jarvis Landry. That's kind of been Mike's little love child. I think Mike was hoping to get him somewhere late in the 5th, but realized that wasn't going to happen, so he had to trade for him. Not a fan of keeping a quarterback. Tim's been making fun of you, Mike, all offseason. I get Rodgers. He is going in the 3rd round on average, but I still think it's stupid to draft a quarterback before like the 5th round, especially in this type of format. Rodgers will keep you in some weeks. Kamara, he's an absolute stud. I don't think he'll be as productive and as efficient as he was last year. But I give Mike's keepers a solid B.
I'm going to give Mike a C.
What?
Because he made his team worse. I gave Josh shit.
And he traded his 4th?
Right,
I didn't get that.
Right. I gave Josh shit just because I hate Josh and I like making fun of him. Same reason he gave me shit for my trade with Josh Schultz. Nevertheless, why in the hell would you trade a player and a pick and you get the worst player? Who are you? What are you doing? It makes no sense at worst or at best. He traded a wide receiver who's going to be equal to the wide receiver he got back. Best case scenario. I love what the Browns are doing. I love Jarvis Landry as much as the next guy. Josh fleeced Michael Agent.
Yep.
Fleeced him. Josh, tell us about that raping.
Honestly, I thought it was a fine deal. I gave up a 4th, and what did I get back? I got a 5th or a 6th back or something. I don't even know, to be honest. But that deal actually materialized and was completed under 5 minutes. So it was pretty interesting.
Pretty interesting indeed. I can't see the I guess I just don't understand the thought process behind Jarvis Landry, and for a guy that's never had over 10 touchdowns in his career, You gave up Keenan Allen, who is a stud. I don't know, Mike. I think you're dead wrong on Jarvis Landry for Keenan Allen. I think you're dead wrong keeping Double A-Ron, and I think that Alvin Kamara is a scary player to have. As much as you and I both loved him last year, he's so scared to have this year because he's going to have to fucking be the bell cow. Let's move on to Tom's team. Josh, only you and I will talk about this, and we'll make it somewhat quick because Tom's right here, but we'll hear about Tom's thought process, I guess. It's been known for a long time who his keepers are. Joe Mixon, Delvin Cook, and Eugene Hilton.
I like Tom's keepers. I like Delvin Cook. Joe Mixon, obviously, I'm a fan of him. And if Andy Luck, the Winter Soldier, is healthy, T.Y. Hilton could be a wide receiver 1, just like in previous seasons, like 3 or 4 years ago. So T.Y. Hilton is a special player. So I like what he did. I did not like the fact that he tried to rip me off in a trade at the last minute, try to get Treadwell for me. But at the same time, it is what it is.
Well, what is this? So any of these assholes in our league who listen to this podcast regularly know that Josh can't help himself but from bringing up Laquan Treadwell all the time. Guaranteed, Josh, if you want him in the 10th round, too bad. Josh can take him in the 9th. Treadwell's going high this year, boys.
Don't even tell me he's going to the 10th. He'll be gone.
What's this trade that he's speaking of, Tom?
I offered him Treadwell for like a kicker, and he turned it down. I was
dick.
trying to give him Treadwell right before the deadline.
Oh! he didn't have enough room to keep him.
No.
That was the issue. I like it. I like Mixon and Cook. It honestly seems to me that you got like not only do you have picks this year, but you got all the players that you wanted in last year's draft as your keepers. Like that's how, Jerry, this is how you do a rebuild. This is what tanking actually is. Yes, Tom is the beer bitch, and we're going to have to figure out, especially if the party's inside this year, we're going to have to keep the beer in the basement or something. We're going to have to hide it throughout the house.
Just wait.
Just wait?
Yeah.
Are you going to shake them all up? I mean,
no,
it's not my house. I don't really care.
I got a belt and a strap that hold like 15 beers. So I'll just be able to, and it's cooled, so I can just hand it out whenever someone needs it.
Interesting.
We're good to go.
I like that. I'm gonna buy a very distinct beer that I only hide one at a time. So you have to
keep this party moving. We only got a couple minutes left.
Oh, we have 7 minutes and 30 seconds. You're not running the ship, so shut your mouth, Wing Chun.
We haven't even covered half the league.
I know. We're gonna do another one. We're not gonna have enough time to do the whole league. We're gonna split it up, just like last time. Calm down, everyone. Don't worry. Tom, I will give you a solid A. Congratulations.
Thank you.
1 quarterback, 4 running backs, 3 wide receivers, and a tight end. Who is your favorite team out of the 3, Josh?
Wait, say that again?
I said, who is your favorite team out of the 3? Who are you predicting to win the division?
Oh, out of that division? I'm probably going to have to go with Tom's team. You got to look at also his draft picks. He's got pretty much a 4th, 2 5ths, I think 3 6s or something ridiculous like that, and an 8th and 2 9s. So the sad thing is, I think I know that off the top of my head. Is that right, Tom?
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah. So the biggest question is if he's going to try to fill out his whole roster first, or is he going to go with an extra bench spot or 2 before he hits quarterback? So I think that'll be the interesting part.
Will be interesting. That, in my opinion, will all depend on how far Russell Wilson falls. That's what my guess is. If I'm looking at Tom, I agree with you. Tom's going to run away with this division, not even close. If Mike can draft well, get lucky on a couple sleepers, he's got a shot. And hell, I guess if Gronk and Brown are both healthy and both put up monster numbers, then yeah, Kevin's going to compete. You have to look at it.
This division has immediately flip-flopped compared to where it was last year.
Yes, it has, and you are welcome. I added a little bit of sauce into this division. That's all I have for those 2 divisions. Let's come back here in a second. I do want to split it up into 2, part 1 and part 2, because we're going to get playoff predictions and everything else. And like I said, I have a little bit of a mock as well. So we will be right back.